Hey folks, how's it going today? Hope everybody's doing really good. I got a doozy on the bench here today, guys. This one's been through a lot of stuff. It's got a neck break on it too. Not on the headstock either. It's down here by the heel. A real doozy. So let's get right in close. We'll get the tools out and see what we can do with her, alright? Alright, let's get to it. Okay, well, first thing we got to do is get the strings off it. These pretty much had it anyway, so we're going to get rid of them. I'm just going to cut them. It's going to need new strings anyways. These ones are pretty chopped up, so let me get some cutters out. Okay. All right, let's get rid of this stuff, and we'll see what we're up against. This belongs to a young feller in town. He plays out a lot. He's got a band. He's recording and doing all kinds of cool stuff. So I'm more than glad to help him out and support these guys. You got to support these up and comers. That's what it is, folks. Okay, so let me get the strings out of it, and some of them don't want to come out as usual. So I'll have to resort to this old tactic here. Take your E-string and then just drive the balled end down through. And that'll knock them out for you, okay? Alright. Alright, we got all the strings off her. Boy. Yeah, them had seen better days. So what happened to this one? We had a, this was the strap button. Or it was at least, posing as a strap button, and it come out on them, and the guitar hit the floor. So let's look at the break. Well, it's going to be tough to see that right there. Let me get the neck off it, and we'll get a good look at it here. Neck is not very tight with the screws. Obviously, them are probably stripped out, I'm guessing, as well. It really took a digger. Now, this guitar's got some big chunks taken out of it. The owner showed me that somebody had actually taken some pieces out of a hard shell case that this was in and patched the holes in with that. There you go. MacGyver. She's a MacGyver guitar. Anyway, he also told me that he thinks this has been broke once before, so we're gonna find out right now what's going on here. Okay, so this is a made in Mexico, 1995. That's what the date says, February 13th, 1995. The owner, I think he told me thought it was a 92, so there it is anyway. Okay, so yeah, that's a pretty bad break right there. You know what I'm saying? Not good. So we're gonna have to look this over a little closer. I'm gonna bring you guys out of there for a second too, so we can really see what's going on here. Okay. Yeah, that's a bad one, folks. Blew some chunks of wood out. You know, mind you, that's back in the pocket of the guitar where the heel is. But let's take a look at that now. I can see some evidence of glue right here. I think he's definitely right about it breaking before. And somebody did repair it. There's glue here too along this crack. Okay, so it probably broke in basically the same area. Now I can see something there as well. And just looking at this line here, I think that's part of the original brake too. I can almost see a little bit of glue line there. Okay, so, what do you do in this case? Should you try to re-brake that, clean that out, peel that piece out of there? I'm not really sure. I think what I'm going to do is just see if it's clampable, and it is. I can squeeze it tight. Actually, there's not much holding it there anyway. See that? So I think what we're going to do is take that right off, and that way I can clean the surface area in there and get it ready to re-glue and see if there's any damage, under this this brake we're looking at. So let's do that first. Okay, now, so I've got the piece removed, okay? It was definitely glued once. There's definitely signs of glue right here, as you can see. Some more here. Somebody did attempt to fix it one time, and obviously they must have succeeded because this guitar has been played quite a bit since then. And, I can see residual glue up here that probably didn't get cleaned off that well. Now, as far as, let me zoom this in a little bit more. Now, we got a crack right here. You can see that it pulled this up when the neck, hit the floor, and it did kind of break this out around the screw hole. There's some more glue right here. I think this has definitely been cracked at least once, possibly more. We have another crack right here, okay? So those are all going to have to get filled in as well, just for the structural integrity of this. So it'll hold around the screw holes. And again, this whole thing is out in one piece, but if you look really close, it's also cracked right here, and it's been re-glued, and it cracked right across the hole again with the screw holds the neck to the body. So, I think the depth of the repair is going to be this. We're going to have to re-glue this piece here on its own, okay, and fix that without a doubt. And once that's re-glued, then we'll reattach it to the guitar neck and glue that to it as well. So I think what I'm going to do is repair this piece first, and then I'm going to repair this crack as much as I can. And I'm going to have to try to peel this up and try to get some glue underneath there if possible. So that's the first order of business. You got to assess what's broke, what's not. Again, that looks okay, but you can see, some old chunks missing. That was from the first break, without a doubt, because there was no chunks left in the body, the neck pocket. So I think he is right. I think it's been broke before, and that's probably why it broke again. I don't think it was really glued well. So here we go, folks. Let's bail right in, and we'll start with this first, get that fixed up, and then we'll concentrate on that. Okay, so the first order of business is this. I got a screwdriver propped in there, all right? I'm just gonna use some super glue on this. Just heavy viscosity glue. See if I can get this in the shot a little better, and not have my hands always in the frame here. It's tricky, but I'm gonna take the time to do it. Yeah, I gotta have something different. Let's use this cardboard box. I think we'd be in better shape. And yeah, okay. All right, so I'm gonna put some super glue in here. He said this is really heavy super glue, like gel viscosity. And I'm just going to take a little thin piece of plastic here and just try to push some of that glue down in there as best I can. And I'm not really worried about getting too much glue in there. I just want to make sure I get enough glue in there. And we'll go from there. Okay, so we definitely got a good amount of glue in there. So I think what we'll do now is pull this out. And I'm going to wipe that off. And we're going to put a clamp right on that right now. And get that taken care of. Alright, so I'm just going to use one of these plastic clamps like this. And it doesn't really want to go down in there. Not really sure. I'm going to have to try a different clamp, I guess. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to get a piece of cork so I don't scar the guitar up on the frets and stuff. I'll try to include you guys as best I can. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is put this clamp on and drive this thing back down where it belongs. Let's see. I'm thinking something about like that. Really hard to do and not be in the way of the camera, but I'm doing my best, folks. Bear with me. Somehow, some way, we're going to make it happen. All right. Well, I think that did drive it down there some. I'm going to try move my clamp back this way a little bit. That definitely drove it in there. Okay, just getting the clamp in the right place was really the toughest part. Okay, so that should take care of that, and I think that'll hold. Now, we're going to work on this piece. Okay, so there's the original brake right here. What we're going to do is I'm going to use some PC glue here, and I'm just going to spread this apart by hand, and I'll show you in a second. I'm going to take a toothpick and I'll run some of that glue on here up top. This is kind of a messy looking way to do it, but we're going to get that all cleaned up, and I'm going to take a toothpick here and just kind of guide some of this glue into the crack as best I can, and try to do it on camera for you, but that's a lot of probably overkill, but yeah, starting to really get in there good now. Okay, I think just working it back and forth like that is definitely getting a lot more glue in there for me. Yeah. Okay, so what we're going to do now is wipe that off. We'll get some of the excess glue off here. And there. Sorry about the shaky camera. Okay, so I gotta find a clamp that will kind of lock that together without destroying this. So I think what I'm gonna do is this. Okay, that's good. Now I can see some squeeze out coming out through there. You see that? That tells me it's tight and should be great. Now it's not cracked on the back, so I shouldn't have to worry about that much. And also, when we glue this piece back to the guitar neck, it will be covered in glue anyway. So I think we're good to go for that. And we got that one piece mending there around the screw hole, which probably should be all set now because I used crazy glue. So let's take a look at it. And we got a little cork stuck to it. We'll clean that off, but it did push it back down some. I'm gonna have to look that over again. I don't know if there was something in behind it. It looks like it could have went a little bit flatter in there, but I'm not too worried about it. I'll clean that up and we'll take care of that anyways. Well, you know, looking at it, you got quite a bit of surface area here for the glue, so I'm pretty sure this will work. You know, at the end of the day, we may have to kind of re-drill the holes out if they get filled with glue, but not a big deal. So we're going to let this stuff dry up good. This will take a few hours with this glue here, but it's good glue. It's, you know, similar to like Titebond. It's good for wood and stuff like that. I'm not a huge fan of using crazy glue with wood. It never seems to hold well, so I tend not to use crazy glue, you know, for the most part. Just gluing a little piece in, I can handle the super glue for that, but you know, for a complete break, I don't recommend it. All right, so while this is drying, we got another little project that's going to require some glue as well. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so this belongs to the same owner that owns the guitar we're working on. He said he really likes this amp. He said it sounds really good recording, and it has a very nice tremolo circuit. It's a Camelot GA3T. Now this isn't tube, it's solid state, but he said it still has a really nice sound. So, you know, sometimes the circuit itself can make things sound a lot better. Really simple design. Now the problem is in the cabinet mostly, and it's just separating here, okay? So we need to re-glue that back down. And it also pulled the wires off the speaker. So we're going to reattach those and get that back in order too. So the first move is, I guess, we're going to have to re-glue the cabinet and get that taken care of. And we'll let it all dry up along with the guitar neck. And then we will re-glue the entire thing back together. All right, so let's get the glue out and we'll fix the cabinet. Okay, so this is what happened. This pulled off, and when it did, it pulled the speaker wires off the speaker. So this shouldn't be a bad fix, though. We're just gonna, I've cleaned this out pretty good already, and we're just gonna get some glue on the little dovetails here, and that should take care of it. Again, I'm using a PC type glue. It's similar to Titebond. It's kind of a general purpose glue, but it does work really well on wood, you know, vinyl, anything like that. Okay, we'll take our cloth, and I'm just going to kind of get a little bit down in these cracks here, okay? It's not going to hurt a thing. It will kind of close up the eyesore so it won't look like it's broke anymore. This glue dries clear, so that's a good thing. Okay. So I think I think we should put a clamp on there probably to hold it. I think that's in order. That way we know it's in there really tight. So I'm going to get a clamp. We'll clamp that up. Okay, so we got a big bar clamp on there. That should take care of it. And we got squeeze out, which is a good sign. I'll check the rest of the joints to make sure they're not broke. Everything looks pretty good though. So I guess for now, all we can do with these is just let this stuff dry, and we'll get ready for the next step, which will be to glue these pieces back together. I want to let this one dry here a little more so I know that crack is at least repaired, and then we'll focus on gluing that piece back in there, and then it'll be just a matter of you know, letting all that stuff dry up and bolt it back on the guitar. While the guitar's apart too, the owner did mention that his volume knob, his volume pot's messed up, so I'm going to fix that as well. And if I see anything else that's, you know, not up to code in there, we'll take care of it. But you know, this one's been a player for sure. It's had some hard days and long nights. Again, there's a big chunk broke out of it. He said somebody taped it in there, I guess. Same up here. So she's got some character, that's for sure. Some nice beauty marks. Now that strap button's loose too, so we'll have to fix that. The other thing we're going to do is I'm going to probably take this, fill this in. This is a big gash of a gaping hole here. We'll plug that up and you know, put a real strap button back on and try to cover some of this mess up a little bit. Not a great big deal. This thing's gonna see more of what it's already seen, so it's you know, this is his gigging guitar, and he loves playing it. It's got a lot of character, and he said it sounds really, really nice too. So we'll find out. We're gonna try it anyways when we get it all back together, and we'll plug it into this amp and give it a shot. See what they both sound like. So, fun little project here today. And it's going to a really nice guy. He's, like I said, this is a young fella, super nice gentleman, and a good player as well. He stopped by, like I said, for a few minutes, and took him in the studio, and he checked out some of my guitars and played a few. And you know how it is. You notice if somebody can play or they can't real quick, and this young guy's on the right path. He's I think he's gonna end up being an amazing player before it's over with, that's for sure. So we'll get his guitar back together and keep him headed on the right path. That's all we can do, guys. All right, well, thanks for watching. This is part 1. We will do a part 2 on it, and I'm going to go through the rest of these repairs. Like I said, I got to plug some holes. I need to change a pot, and while I have the soldering iron out, we'll fix this. It's pulled one wire off, and it pulled this one off the speaker itself, the posts. So we'll resolder those back up and get that thing singing like a bird again too. All right, folks, well, thanks again for watching. I really appreciate all the views and the nice comments. Really helps out the channel a lot, and welcome to all the new subscribers. We'll see you guys real soon. Be good. Okie doke. Well, hey, folks, how's it going? Welcome to part 2 on this neck repair here. This is a tough one. This one's got a lot of pieces to the puzzle here. So in the last video, we glued this one back together, and this piece goes in here. So what we're going to do now is actually put this piece back in, re-glue it, and hopefully it will sit back down there flat. you know, sometimes they don't. And what you end up having to do is, you know, replane this to a flat surface again. And that may be the case with this one. We don't really know yet, so we're going to glue it up and clamp it here anyways and get that all taken care of. And there really isn't much else we can do to it right now. I just want to get this intact, and then we'll work on getting it straight, and I'll fill in any of the other cracks with super glue, and we'll just kind of go from there. Okay, so I'm just going to get some Titebond out here, and just regular Titebond. It doesn't have to be the Type 2 or anything like that. This works just fine. Don't be stingy with it. Put some glue on there. That's, you know, the whole key to the process is the glue holding it together, so don't skimp on it. Get some glue in there, and don't worry about the squeeze out. You just gonna clean that up when you're all done anyway. So I'm gonna put a good coating on the heel, and I'm gonna put a little bit on this piece too, just because, you know, like I said, it's gonna be a bunch of squeeze out, but that's okay. Before you actually hook these together, this glue is going to start running down into the wood some too. So, you know, it's good to put some on each piece when you glue, in my opinion. Okay, I'm going to get a little bit more just up on the end here, and we'll get her back on and clamp it, and we'll move on to the next leg of the journey here. Okay, so I need a little bit more here. Get that all in there good. All right. Okay, I think we got her all covered. That looks good down in there too. I'm just going to brush a little bit of it up there with my finger. Okay, it's starting to get a little bit of a tack to it. All right, so I'm going to just press it down in there firm. Get rid of some of this glue right out of the gate. Then I don't have to deal with it later. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is get a clamp on it here. That's looking pretty good. I got a good amount of squeeze out coming out. I think what we'll do next is put another clamp on. Let's see. Get my clamp fixed up here. There we go. Okay. I think we're going to put one right about here. Again, I got a bunch of squeeze out right now, so I'm going to try to take care of some of that right here while I'm right in the area. Okay. All right, now I'd like to get another clamp right here. So I think we'll do that as well. Again, I got a really good amount of squeeze out coming from every part of it, so that's a good sign. Let's get one more if I can right. I'd love to get one right there if I could. It's going to be tricky, but I don't know. Maybe if I double up some cork here, I can get that to hold. Yep, that's going to work right there. I know it's tough to see. I've got so many clamps on here, guys, but I want to hold good pressure on it. And eventually what I think I'll do is I may put some in there right now, a little bit of Titebond just out on the end of this where it had been, I think it had been down previously before this happened, and that's like remnants from the first time this thing was broke. So I'm just going to get a little bit of Titebond here, and I'm going to just kind of daub some in there. It's not going to hurt a thing. And eventually I'll try to build this up maybe with a little bit of super glue. Just, you know, make sure it stays intact. I don't really want to leave that open because that can actually start a crack, you know. You want to have the cracks glued from end to end. Don't take any chances. Okay, so that'll take care of that. And let me get you guys out of there. Okay, whoop. Sorry, folks. Okay, so that'll give you a little better look. This is where I just rub some of the glue in on the end. I know this looks really gnarly, but this break was really gnarly. There's a little bit of glue in there. I'm going to just try to wipe some of that out. I'll take a razor blade after and clean all this up. And we should be in good shape. So I think what we'll do next, we're going to put this away. We're going to switch gears, and we're going to tear the pick guard off the guitar and change the volume pot while this glue's drying. All right, so let's get to it. Back up on your perch, folks. I got to put you back up there so we can, you guys can see it all going down. Okay, so the volume pot, the customer told me that the volume only works when the guitar is turned all the way up to 10. Which, you know, when I was young, that wouldn't have been a big deal, right? It was always on 10 anyway, so. Okay, so I'm just going to flip the pick guard off here in a second, and we'll see what's going on with the pot. I know I could turn it. I can turn it round and round and round backwards. And forwards, it's funky. Anyway, it needs a new one, so I'll have to dig around in the cupboard here and see what I got for pots. I think I just bought some 250s not long ago, so I think I do have some. Well, let's see. I think this guitar was white at one point in its life. I'm not sure. Really hard to tell sometimes. It looks like it was white, and it's just seen a lot of maybe nicotine and sunlight and okay. Oh, missed one right here. You guys probably already saw me do that, didn't you? All right, here we go. Let's see what we got here. Well, no, I think that was the original color, kind of an off-white. Okay, so, you know, the standard Strat kind of set up. And we got a lace sensor in the back here. Okay. Well, what we'll do is just kind of sift through these wires, and we're going to have to unsolder a bunch of wires from the volume potentiometer here. And then we'll just solder them all back in. Not a big deal. Everything else looks pretty good. I'll spray the pots out while I'm here, and the switch and stuff too. Okay, so I'm going to get you back out of the stand here, and we'll change views, and I'm going to get the soldering iron out here and get that warmed up. Okay, hang on. Okie doke, folks, we got the old soldering iron fired up here. Well, I gotta try to yeah, I guess I'll use this little screwdriver and push this wire off here. I did have some 250K pots, so we're all set there. And we got a white wire in the middle, and the other one's ground. And then we got a ton of wires grounded to the back of the potentiometer here. I know my hand's in the way, but that's just how it goes. Alright, so I'm trying to get this pot, get some of this old solder heated up. There we go. Okay, that one's unhooked. And we got 2 more grounds to unhook here. And we should be good. See if I can do this left-handed. Let's see. Nope. Alright, there's that. And one more ground wire here, and we should be free. Alright, that takes care of that. So we got all the wires unhooked. No, that red one's still kind of hanging in there. So he's got to get pulled out. Okay. Now, we're going to pull the knob off. And I got to get something to loosen that up with. I'm just going to use a little adjustable here to get it started. All right. Okay. What is this? This is 500K. Okay, well, I figured it would have been a 250, but I do have some 500s here. Let me dig them out. Okay, so I did find a 500. So we're going to get that mounted in here and get it tightened up. Okay, that's good enough so we can get back to soldering. So, what we want to do is, let's see. I'll try to zoom this in for you guys so you can actually see what's going on. Okay, so this is the pot we're after right here. And we got a big bundle of wires that all went to ground with the other one, so I think I'll work on those first. And get some solder out here. Now I got to make sure that the pot's turned all the way off or all the way on. You don't want it halfway in between because it will burn the contacts out, the little wiper inside. Okay, so we got those hooked on. I just dropped my solder. So now I need to hook one more ground right here that was on there previously. Get that on. Okay. Whoop. Yeah, it doesn't want to stay very well. Let's get a little more solder. And nope. Okay, we got her that time. So, we had the red wire. Where is that? And a white wire somewhere. Or did I hook them in there? No, I didn't. Huh, that's odd. I can't find the leads. Those. Okay, guys, so I had a little, got sidetracked a little bit. So what we did here This bundle of wires right here comes from the lace sensor, okay, and the red one does go to the back of the pot. It was grounded with the rest of them. So what I had to do, I couldn't find this red wire. It was tucked down in and around. I had some stuff laying on top of it. So the red one went right here on the first lug, and then the white one went to the middle. And then we had a ground that we grounded the third lug back to the back of the pot. So the rest of it's all good. I did hook it up to an ohm meter, which I'll do right now, and we'll go through the readings real quick. Okay, so what we got going here is I've got a cord plugged into the guitar, and I've got these alligator clips, you know, these little jumper wires, hooked to the leads of my multimeter, and I have one end hooked to the cord. The green one is hooked around the barrel or the shaft ring, and the yellow one's hooked to the tip. Well, it was. Let me hook that back on there. And it really doesn't matter which wire goes to, you know, where. It doesn't matter if you've got them backwards. It's still going to read the same, okay? So what we have here is we're on the neck pickup right now. Make sure your pots are up all the way. So we got 5.24, around 5.41 to, let's say 5.41 ohms of resistance. Let's switch to this setting, which will be these two pickups. Okay, we have less resistance. There's still some pretty good output. Let's see what the middle has on its own. 5.28, pretty good. Then we have the middle and the lace sensor. That's pretty good output right there. Let's go right to the lace. Whoa, that baby's got some steam. Look at that, 14.34. That's a hot one. Okay, so they all work good, and the potentiometer's going to work. We're all set with that, and we can press on and bolt the pick guard back together. I do need to talk to the owner. I don't know if he wants me to like take a look at this and see if I can kind of repair that. And we have a chunk missing out of it over there too. You know, maybe he likes it just the way it is. I don't know. I'm going to ask him though. And, you know, I could take a look at it and maybe make it better than that. At least, you know, there would be a piece glued in there and I could reshape it, you know, and same here. It's got quite a chunk taken out of it right here too as well. You know, it's not a ton of work, but I think I could make it at least look pleasing to the eye. But again, you know, some guys just want to leave it the way it is, and I'm good with that too. You know, I get it. Anyway, we're all back together, and we got the potentiometer changed. That's a good thing. We got the necks drying, and it's all clamped up. So I think the next thing we're going to move on to is I'm going to fix these strap buttons, and we're going to put a real strap button on this, and we got a big hole to fill here. So we're going to probably put a dowel in there and glue it in, and I'm thinking we'll probably re-drill that and put a proper strap button on there for him. And that way this won't happen again and it won't fall off. And we got a few holes in the pick guard that are, you know, stripped out. What I usually do is just take a toothpick and stick it down in the hole, break it off, and put the screw in. No glue, no nothing. Just break it off, put the screw right in, and that'll cinch right up just as tight as new. Okay, guys, well, let's get to it, and we'll fix these couple little holes. And I want to see what's going on back here with this. That doesn't look real promising. And we'll get the pick guard bolted back down here, and we should be in good shape. We've got quite a bit accomplished on this one today, really. Everything's gone really good so far, so that's a good sign. Any case, let's put it back together, and we'll address these holes and get them filled in. Okay, so we're going to tackle this first. What we got here is a piece of birch dowel, and we're going to fill this hole with super glue and put this right in there, and we'll let that dry, and then we'll probably do some drop fills around it with some more super glue before it's over. So I think that we're going to tackle that one first, and then we'll move on to the one in the back, take a look at that. I did notice there was a crack here in the lower bout. I'm going to look that over too. That might need some super glue, maybe some CA glue down through there. And I can see another crack back in here. So I'm going to have to look this over a little closer around where the heel was, because that really did do a lot of damage, and there was a lot of stress that happened when that broke there. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm just going to nip this off like that, and we'll get some super glue out. I'm going to get this propped up so it will be in the right direction. Okay, so I'm going to take this out of the frame just for a second, and we're going to get some, this is crazy glue. I'm going to get a big heap of crazy glue in there and set it back down. And there we go. We got that drove in pretty good. I'm just going to give it a couple taps with my pliers. Make sure it's in there forever. So that looks pretty good. I got a little bit of run out here. Nothing too major though. It's actually got a big chip right here, so I don't mind that it wants to run down a little bit. I think what I'll do is just turn the guitar like this, and it'll only take a minute anyways, and that'll be dried right up pretty good. So after that's done, we'll cut that plug off and maybe do another drop fill, and then we'll drill it out and put a strap button back on it. Okay, so let's check out the one in the back next. Okay, so that was an easy fix. This one was it was just loose. I tightened it up, and it's not stripped or anything, so good to go. You can see she's had a few dings here in the back, and you know, on the bottom of the body, couple good chunks taken out of it for sure. This one's been really put to the test. So we got that one drying. That's still good. I'm going to take a look at these cracks in the neck pocket here. Okay, so as you guys can see, we got one right here. That one kind of concerns me a little bit. We got a pretty good crack here, which happens on Strats a lot. It really does. As far as the pocket and over there, don't look to be bad. But you know, it is cracked there. Whether it's just in the finish or not, it's a pretty good one. So I can see a little evidence of it right here, and it did crack through there a little bit. Let's just take a good peek at it. Yeah. Oh, sorry about that. I guess I can't really get on it, but you can still kind of see that line right here. So I probably will repair those as well. Just use some thin super glue and you know, let it soak down in there. Other than that, I think it's going to be okay. And like I said, the electronics are all good now, so really basically just a matter of finishing this and putting the neck back on after that dries. And I did notice the frets were pretty worn, so I'm going to ask the owner about that as well. Let's take a look at it real quick. Okay, so yeah, they're getting worn. I mean, as much as this guy plays, I'm sure they're not going to last an awful long time, but I can probably recrown some of them. One's got some pretty good divots in them, but you know, I won't probably be able to take it all out, but I can maybe clean them up a little bit, and you know, he can get some more play wear out of them, and eventually he'll need to probably refret this guitar before too long. Again, you know, hopefully this holds good. I think we're going to be in good shape. And I've never repaired a heel break before. This is my first one, so hopefully that works well, and it seems like it's going to be good to go eventually. So hopefully, you know, like I said, she's had some pretty good pieces blown out from the previous neck break, so all we can do is find out eventually. I'm going to give it a couple days before I bolt that back on there, though, and make sure that glue's really cured well before I string it up and put any strain on it. And I'll look the guitar over a little more, and in the meantime I can clean the frets up while the you know, as soon as I can take the clamps off in the morning, I can work on the frets a little bit and get those cleaned up, and you know, maybe address some of these big chunks that are taken out. And you know, like I said, if he wants me to check these kind of makeshift plugs out, I can look that over too. I mean, I know I can put a piece of wood in there and shape it to this. I probably even have some paint that's really close to that, but we'll see. In any case, it's been a good project, and a lot of fun so far. Everything's gone very well, so that's a good sign. Okay, guys, well, thanks again for watching. I know this is an awful long video, but this was an awful long project. You know, it takes time and a lot of setup and that kind of stuff, and you know, pre-planning your clamping systems, and you want to have that stuff ready to go before you put the glue on, and make sure you got the right tools for the job. Okay, we'll see you guys real soon. Thanks again for watching. Okie doke.